Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are NC.
Come on, Chen! Well, you've got it, Will Ferrell. After a month and a half on the disabled list, Bruce Chen is back. The Royals starting rotation will get a boost tonight in Game 1 with the Cubs on Fox Sports, Kansas City. We're expecting a big gathering at Kauffman Stadium tonight. The Chicago Cubs are in Kansas City for the first time in 11 years. And tonight, begin a 3-game series with the Royals. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Royals Hall of Famer Frank White. I'm Ryan Lefevre, and there is a buzz in the ballpark tonight. First of all, the Celebrity Wiffle Ball Tournament. The Cubs are in town, and the Royals rotation will get a lift with Bruce Chen coming back from the disabled list.
Well, you're right, Ryan. Anytime the Cubbies show up, a lot of people come out. They're expecting a big crowd tonight, and you hit it right on the head. What the Royals need is a good, fresh starter, and they're getting that in Bruce Chen tonight.
And a couple of reasons Bruce Chen was frustrated about going on the disabled list. First of all, the obvious, didn't want to be injured. And number two, he was pitching well.
Yeah, I was feeling very good. I felt like I was, mixing my pitches really well. But, my teammates did a great job. I think Hochevar and Francis established themselves as a very good, dependable pitchers. I think Duffy and Mazzaro did a really good job, pitching well. Me and Kyle were on the disabled list. And, my teammates, they play hard. And I'm very proud of them. And I'm very glad that I'm able, that now I'm going to be able to help them because, it was frustrating for me to just sit there and just watch.
It's interesting, Frank, when Bruce went on the disabled list, it was after his best start of the year.
Well, you're right, Ryan. Normally a guy's hurt early in a game, but he went 7 innings, only gave up 1 earned run, and did a great job in winning that last game that he pitched. So the Royals tonight are looking for that kind of performance out of Bruce Chen.
Overall, it has not been a good year for the Cubs, but they still have a couple of big home run threats in their lineup.
Well, Carlos Pena, Alfonso Soriano, that's where the RBIs and the home runs lie. So Bruce have to work around these two guys tonight. But they're a very aggressive hitting team, and the way he changes speed, he should be okay.
The Royals think they have one of the best shortstops in baseball. So do the Chicago Cubs.
Well, I can see why the Cubs are so excited about Starlin Castro. I'm kind of excited to see him play. He's sitting on 99 hits at this point, and he feels very confident that there would be 200 hits at the end of the year.
The first inning could be an important inning tonight. The Royals have given up the most first-inning runs in the American League. And when Kosuke Fukudome leads off, his on-base percentage is .397. We'll talk more about tonight's game when we come back. Baseball is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. When you play, students win. So it's Bruce Chen on the mound for the Royals going up against the Cubs, and they do very well against left-hand pitching. These are their numbers individually against lefties this year. Impressive up and down, with the exception of two important guys. Aramis Ramirez, who hits .246, and Carlos Pena, who hits under 100. The Royals had another outfield assist last night, Frank, their 25th of the year.
A great outfielder, and the Cubs are going to get a chance to see this great outfield play of the Royals. And you see last night when Melky Cabrera made a great throw to the plate to cut down the run.
13 times a Royals outfielder has thrown out a runner at the plate. And now we take a look at the Royals defensively tonight, presented by Ram Trucks. Bruce Chen is back, which means Ryan Pena will be behind the plate. And the Royals will be facing right-hander Ryan Dempster, a 15-game winner last year, but had a bad start to the season, an awful April, so he's still trying to bounce back from that. He's only won 5 games. It's the Royals and the Chicago Cubs, and the first pitch is next. Stadium in high definition, brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Get no fee HD with digital TV from Time Warner Cable. And we go out to left field, and here's Joe Goldberg.
Well, Ryan, Bruce Chen entered the field just a little while ago. First time since May 5th that he gets to pitch in a game, and I'm sure there were plenty of chants of, "Come on, Chen!" That, of course, started with the comedians last year. Those comedians were very excited to hear that that catchphrase has caught on. They are here to raise money. Just finished up the wiffle ball game. We'll visit with them in the third inning. And then they've got their poker tournament coming up tomorrow night. Just to give you an idea, they raised $120,000 last year for Children's Mercy Hospital. Going to do some great work again here this weekend. Looking forward to catching up with them in a little bit. And guys, did you notice Nate Bukaty started a fight, started a brawl during the wiffle ball game?
Not a huge surprise as Bruce Chen throws a strike. Nate's got a little edge to him when he gets in between the lines.
I know we have to teach him baseball etiquette, though. You can't take your bat out to the mound when you charge the mound.
1-1. Hit on the basketball court with Nate. and it's like a Jekyll and Hyde thing. Line to right field, and Francoeur not looking directly into the sun. The sun is filtered a bit right now by some thin clouds, so it's not as treacherous as it can be early in the game. So Fukudome is down. Starting to warm up day by day. 81 degrees at first pitch tonight. The game started right on time at 7:10. And the time and temp is brought to you by the parking spot. Easy to spot, easy to park. The parking spot at KCA. And the crowd still filing in. As Starlin Castro takes ball one upstairs. 7-game hitting streak for Castro. He is the National League's 3rd leading hitter, batting at .322. And now he has an 8-game hitting streak. And that is his 100th hit of the season. So Bruce Chen, 34 years old. And because of a couple of good years with the Royals, well, about a season and a quarter, he has won 16 games. So his career record has gone above 500. He also had a win in 2009, so make it 17 wins with the Royals. And it's interesting looking at this line, Frank, because as you pointed out, normally when a player goes on the disabled list, you can go back to his last start and say, well, that's why he pitched so poorly. But that's an impressive line against Baltimore.
I think if Bruce would take that every time out, he would say, let me stay hurt. But you're right, it was something that came up a few days after that start. And now Bruce Chen is trying to battle back, and just getting a fresh starter, a guy that's coming in, and maybe that can help this starting rotation get back on track again. They've been really hot and cold since he's been out of the lineup.
He is 0-2 now against Aramis Ramirez. Ramirez has excellent numbers in the past against Bruce Chen. 6 out of 10 with 3 doubles. Bruce is just going right at him, and this is outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, good hitters on this Cub team. They just haven't been able to put it together. They're a team that really was more of an individual team coming out of spring training, and they had a meeting, and they felt like they back in May. They had a meeting. They felt like, okay, we're back on track again. Let's all play for one unit, which is a team, and they feel like they got that part of their game accomplished.
Tell me if this sounds familiar. The Cubs are 2nd in the league in hitting, and they are 9th in runs scored. Sounds like the Royals last year.
Sounds like the Royals last year, and you look at the balance of speed on the team, and just 24 stolen bases on the year, and that's not going to give you a lot.
And Ramirez lines it to center field. So with 1 out, back-to-back singles. And Bruce Chen is going to have to deal with a couple of base runners in the first inning. Aramis Ramirez now 7 out of 11 against Bruce Chen.
And I think when somebody's got your number, this changeup goes down, but it stays on the inner half of the plate, and it didn't really hit it good. He got in on him a little bit, but he got it in a good spot in the outfield.
Bobby Dernier is the Cubs first base coach. Kansas City boy.
Came over to me. He says, boy, I'm back on hallowed ground.
So Jeff Baker is the designated hitter. And for the handful of interleague games that they play, most National League teams like the DH. You can put an extra bat in the lineup. But Baker, hitting 4th, has only 2 home runs. The Cubs' biggest home run threats bat 6th and 7th tonight. Carlos Pena and Alfonso Soriano. At the knees, 0-2.
Well, we know that Bruce will change different arm angles, and here you see him. He goes down to the side, and just an effort to keep that ball down. And a lot of times when you drop down like that to the left, you want that fastball to tail away from a right-hander, but he dropped down and threw it to the inner half.
Castro taking off for 3rd. He is out. Nice pick by Moustakas. So Frank said it, the Cubs don't run very often.
Well, Castro, that's the first time he's been thrown out this year. He was 10-0. Now he's been caught for the first time and a bad time of the game right here. So you're still in third base. You got to know that you can make it before you go. But you see Moustakas does a great job picking this ball out of the dirt, leaving the glove down, and Castro slides right into it.
And now Baker drives it to deep right field, and that is just off the tip of Jeff Francoeur's glove. He goes into the wall hard and staggers as he gets the ball back to the infield. So that's a big play. Pena throwing out Castro. It means it's just a one-run triple for Baker. And the Cubs strike in the first inning.
You know, after a great throw and play at third base to catch Castro still in third base, you really like to see your starting pitcher come back and close this inning down. You see Francoeur's giving it all he can to try to make this play, and the ball goes off the end of his glove, and he bangs right into that right field wall. I mean, he just can't. I talked to Alex Gordon about that, and I said, is that cushion? He said, no, it's really hard, and you could tell by the expression on Francoeur's face that didn't feel very good at all.
That is the 60th run allowed by the Royals this year in the first inning. That is the most in the American League. And now no balls and 2 strikes on Giovanni Soto. Well, Bruce Chen is throwing strikes. 16 pitches, 11 strikes. Soto struggling at the moment, hitting .215, so he's really struggled all year, but in particular over his last 66 at bats he only has 13 hits. Still 1-2. The only outs in this inning, a line out to right by Fukudome, and then Castro thrown out trying to steal third. Still a ball and 2 strikes. For Bruce Chen, this is his 12th appearance and 5th start against the Cubs, but it's been a while. 2001, so nobody still around from that team, but there are several hitters in the lineup tonight that have never even seen Bruce Chen with the Cubs or another team. In fact, only 3 hitters in the lineup tonight have faced him before. He ends the inning with a changeup, and after all that, all the Cubs get is 1 run. In the top of the first inning, and now we'll look at the Royals lineup tonight against Ryan Dempster, Melky Cabrera, Eric Hosmer, Billy Butler, Alex Gordon, Jeff Francoeur, Mike Moustakas, Brian Pena will catch with Bruce Chen on the mound, followed by Alcides Escobar and Chris Getz. Facing 34-year-old Ryan Dempster. He's been in the big league since 1998. On Saturday, he lost to the Yankees. Lucky he only gave up 4 runs. 8 hits, 6 walks in 5 1/3 innings. So 14 base runners, but only 3 came around to score. And this is a important game maybe to him, because every pitcher wants to be at least 500, and he's a win away from being 108 and 108. He also has 87 saves in his career.
Well, that's true too. Those 6 walks, I think his career high is 7 and walks in a game. So he's looking to kind of get things squared away. They said of late he's pitched better, but he has those trouble innings, and he's just been able to work out of a few of them.
Melky Cabrera had 3 hits in the Arizona series. 2 of those hits coming in game 1. He gets jammed and out into shallow center field. Castro runs it down. And there is 1 out. Let's take a look at the Cubs defensively. Brought to you by Ram Trucks. Soriano, Fukudome, Montañez in the outfield. Ramirez, Castro, LeMahieu, and Pena around the horn. And Soto behind the plate. 21-year-old Starlin Castro. Big league debut last year. And what a debut he had. 6 RBIs in his first major league game. That's a big league record. So he can do it with the glove, and he can do it with the bat. Got his 100th hit in the top of the first inning tonight. Fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike on Eric Hosmer. Just 1 out of 13 in the Arizona series. He did have a RBI triple. 2-1. Big hop for LeMahieu, and Hosmer is the 2nd out. This great weather continues, and it all started with a storm early this week, dropping temperatures down into the 70s, only into the low 80s today. We will pay the price eventually, but we'll enjoy it for now. 79 degrees, 79 degrees, 80 degrees, and 81 degrees at first pitch during this homestand.
Well, they say those dog days of August, they're still ahead of us.
And now strike to Billy Butler. 3 hits, 2 walks for Billy in the Diamondback series. 45 walks on the year.
Billy's one of those guys, Ryan, that you'd like to see him in certain counts, usually in 0 counts, maybe 2-0 counts, 3-1 counts. You'd like to see him kind of change his swing a little bit and try to elevate the ball and try to drive it a little bit more in those counts.
He drills Ryan Dempster, who makes a painful throw to first. Royals down 1-2-3. TNT, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. By Panera Bread Catering. Order online at PaneraKansas.com. And by Chevy. See your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. 1-0 Cubs, and it appears that Ryan Dempster is okay as he was drilled by a Billy Butler line drive to end the bottom of the first inning. Sometimes the glove is used as a piece of equipment. Sometimes it's used as a shield. And if not for his glove, he may have taken that line drive right off of his right arm.
That'd be a different story, that's for sure. But that glove is definitely a shield of those pitchers on the mound.
Strike two, Carlos Pena. This is Pena's best ballpark in the American League as far as batting average goes. He hits .289 here at Kauffman Stadium. Had perhaps the best game of his career back in 2004 here, when he went 6 for 6 with a couple of home runs playing for the Tigers. That was the same day the Royals traded Carlos Beltran to the Houston Astros. 2-1.
Well, Carlos Pena, he continues to be up near the top in walks. You you look at the 43 walks he's got, that's third most in the NL, but he's been a high strikeout, a high walk type hitter. But it's amazing how that batting average doesn't go along with that.
2 balls, 2 strikes. He hit .196 last year, which was the lowest batting average for a qualifying hitter, which means enough at bats to qualify for the batting title. That was the lowest batting average since 1991.
Well, it's kind of hard to believe. I mean, to be able to get that many walks, you got to have a good eye. But when you go to swing at the ball, there's a whole nother set of circumstances that come into play.
He grounds out to shallow right as Getz is playing out on the grass. Cubs with 1 run, 3 hits. Jeff Baker had an RBI triple, but right before that, Starlin Castro was thrown out trying to steal third, so it could have been a 2-run triple. And now Alfonso Soriano. Tough hop, but Moustakas smothers it up against his belt buckle. And 2 ground ball outs for Chen in the second inning.
You know, most looks like a third baseman. He hounds this ball like a third baseman. He stays right in front of it, uses that big chest of his, and just more or less throws everything in front of him. And that's what third basemen have to do. They got to block that ball the best they can and give themselves a chance to make that play. When you get on the side, and when we used to use that term hole A, then you give your pitcher some cheap hits in that situation.
And a strike to Lou Montañez. Royals have seen him with the Baltimore Orioles. He was a first-round pick of the Cubs, so his career has gone full circle. First-round pick in 2000. Didn't get to the big leagues until 2008, and that was with Baltimore. And it was worth the wait. He player on that list of guys who have hit a home run in their first major league at bat. 2-2.
I think a lot of those guys that hit home runs in their first major league at bat say, man, this is not hard at all. And everything kind of goes downhill from there.
Drafted originally as a shortstop. Been an outfielder in the big leagues. And Bruce Chen with another good changeup. He has struck out 2. And it's 3 up, 3 down in the second inning. manager of the Cubs, replaced Lou Piniella last year in August. Our Sprint You Call It question: what is your favorite team from Chicago? The Bears, the Bulls, the Cubs, or the White Sox? Text 432-432, enter keyword Royals, a space followed by A, B, C, or D. And line to right field, and a base hit. That was one of our hot watch questions tonight, that Alex Gordon would extend his hitting streak to 11 games in his first at bat. So after 5 hits in the Arizona series, 1 for 1 against the Cubs.
Man, what he does is leading off the inning. He just goes back to being a leadoff hitter, and he looks for that first pitch fastball, and he does a good job of just going down and just hitting a line drive to the right field. But that's a good approach. Even though you're batting fourth, you're leading off, so keep that same leadoff approach. Look for that fastball.
All 3 games he's batted fourth. He has led off the inning in his first at bat. So not really a big change yet. Jeff Francoeur, just 1 out of 10 in the Arizona series, and now 5 for his last 42.
Yeah, fighting a long swing, but you have to wonder, after banging into that wall in the first inning there, you wonder if there's any soreness in that left shoulder.
Dempster jumps ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. Francoeur has the most experience of all the Royals against Dempster in the past, 12 at-bats, 5 hits, and 3 of those 5 hits are doubles. One and 2. So that figures out to a .417 batting average for Francoeur against Dempster.
No, Alex has 5 stolen bases, Ryan, but he's been caught 4 times. And sometimes when you're reading that pitcher and you got the right count, but I always looked at him as being a better than a 500 base stealer. I think he can be better than that.
Well, I always felt that the general rule was, if you're stealing 3 out of 4 successfully, that's where you want to be. But the way Doug Sisson teaches it, when he was minor league coordinator, Royals shoot for more 80 to 85% success rate. And early in the year, that's what the Royals had.
And a lot of that was based on the pitcher's times to the plate, and everybody was running coming out of spring training.
Francoeur got a piece. Throw down to second. The fans will be disappointed. Alex is going to have to go back to first. It was a foul ball. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, Royals fans, be sure to check out FoxSportsKansasCity.com for all your Royals news. Columnist Steve Cameron explains the puzzle of putting together a starting rotation. Jeffrey Flanagan reports on how the Royals minor leaguers are doing. And Greg Eklund talks to Billy Butler about his shot at making the All-Star team. Stay in touch with the Royals at FoxSportsKansasCity.com. Into left field. Soriano going from the sunlight to the shade. Alex Gordon will hold after bluffing a tag. So a 3-game series with the Cubs, and Sunday is another family fun day Sunday. It's a 1:10 game with Chicago. There will be face painters, a balloon artist, and much more in the outfield experience before the game. If you'd like more information, visit Royals.com/Sunday. All the way by Mike Moustakas. 3 out of 12 with a run scored against the Diamondbacks. Moustakas hitting at .250. Got his first major league home run and his 5th major league at bat. And a soft liner will drop into center field. Gordon holds at second base. And with one out, the Royals have runners at first and second.
We can take a look at this swing here. Now this, he sort of jammed himself right here. He gets a little bit long on the pitch that's middle in, and they're just able to muscle it out into center field. You can see how high above the trademark that ball hit, but Moose is so strong that he was able to push this ball out in center field.
And now Brian Pena. And Brian is hitting 7 in a row. Played in just one game in the Diamondback series and was 1 for 4. And his season has been a big 1 for 4. He's hitting .250. Up the left field line, slicing, and it is just foul. 0-2. Royals just 2-7 against the National League so far, dropping 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals twice, and then just swept 3 straight by Arizona. Royals have 3 games with Chicago, and then on the road trip they'll play San Diego and Colorado. 1-2.
You take a look at outfield. Center field, right field's a little shallow. Soriano plays a little bit deeper in left field, so you wonder coming out of a small park like Wrigley into a big ballpark like Kansas City, and you wonder what difference is to the man. I know that corner's going to play real big if they can get a ball out in the corner, because Soriano's not used to playing a corner like that.
Soriano was once a guy that really moved well. He had a 40-40 season, 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases, but has spent a lot of time on the disabled list recently with leg problems, so that's really slowed him down. And he's been on the DL this year with a left quad injury. That is blocked by Soto, and Alex to third beats the throw. And behind him in the second base is Moustakas.
That just heads up base running right there. This is what the Royals practice in spring training. As soon as you see that ball going down, be ready to go. Can't hesitate. As soon as it's in the dirt, you got to go right away. And Alex does a good job here and beats it into third base. And Moustakas getting heads up on the backside, moves into second base. Alex got what we call a strawberry. He'd get those right on his stomach, right on the side of his stomach. He used to get those in Double-A all the time. So you see him getting up, pulling at that area right there.
Normally you get those strawberries on the hamstring area, right?
Yeah, you can kind of see him trying to pull that shirt away from it because it's probably stinging a little bit from the sweat.
Called a strawberry because it literally scrapes the skin away, and the surface of the skin looks like a strawberry.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't feel too good. You get after the game, you get in that shower, you got to really load it up with Vaseline. Otherwise, it burns like heck when that water hits it. But that kind of slide more on your side rather than getting flat on your stomach in that head first slide. You still.
Off the netting in front of the Royals dugout. The problem with those injuries, no matter where the strawberry is, some people call them a raspberry, same concept, is that thing won't heal all year as long as he continues to slide the way he slides.
Yeah, he'll try to pad it a little bit, but you're right. It's easy to go back and re-injure that area all year long. So you either got to get smarter about it and get more flatter on your belly, and then get more off that side, and that's where it kind of comes from.
Wanted foul again.
You know, when you're talking about sliding into a base and when you're sliding feet first, the way you get those strawberries is that you slide more on your side than right on the meaty part of your rear. So you can see right how it gets off on the right side like that, and that's where it comes from right there.
Second and third with one out. Hit to left field. So Soriano makes the catch. The Royals will tie the game. Brian Pena has driven in 18. So the wild pitch turns into a run.
A good piece of hitting by Brian. He just stayed with that fastball and then drove it to left field. Didn't try to pull it. And just took what Dempsey gave him on that at bat. So that's a quality at bat. Those are all good at bats when you're not playing every day. You come in, you can get an RBI right away, and you feel good about the rest of the game.
And now Alcides Escobar. He has Moustakas down at second base with 2 outs. And Escobar, after a road trip where he hit over 500, 545, the Diamondbacks cooled him down. And Alcides was just 1 for 10 against Arizona. Up the middle, Castro cuts it off. And a nice dig by Pena. That's the Cubs version of Escobar and Hosmer. The Royals tie the game in the second. Streak and comes home on a Brian Pena sacrifice fly. Let's go to Joe Goldberg, who has some special guests tonight.
Well, guys, we're rounding up some of the celebrities down here, and as soon as we do, we'll get back up to you in just a moment. It is packed out here right now. We got Paul Rudd, we have John Hamm here, we've got Rob Riggle here, and so we'll catch up with those guys in just a moment.
A big, slick celebrity wiffle ball game attracted quite a gathering at the Little K. One strike on DJ LeMahieu. He gets jammed, and Melky Cabrera runs into right center field to make the play. So LeMahieu is out, number 1. Bruce Chen got knocked around a bit in the first inning. He only gave up 1 run, but 1 run, 3 hits, but struck out Soto, and now he's retired 5 in a row. Take a look at tonight's league leaders, brought to you by your Kansas City area Toyota dealers, and where the teams rank in team batting average. The Cubs are second at 263, the Royals at 261, but that's 4th in the American League. Last year, you remember, the Royals finished 2nd in the American League in hitting. Batting average as a team down a bit this year, but the proportion of hits to runs scored has greatly improved this year. For the Royals, that is. For the Cubs, They're in a similar situation as the Royals were last year, where they're getting their hits. It's just not turning into many runs. Mike Quade, you talk about a guy that paid his dues. 17 years in the minor leagues as a coach or manager. 7 years in the big leagues as a coach before he got his shot. And the Cubs really rallied around him after he replaced Lou Piniella last year. And now Bruce Chen's retired 6 straight with 3 strikeouts along the way.
Well, it just froze him right here. Fastball on the outside corner. I'm sure he's looking for something off speed, because Bruce had got a few strikeouts on that changeup. Well, you're right, Ryan. That is a long time to wait. I mean, you got to have a good passion for the game to stay in the game that long, and you got to be a good teacher and all that goes with it, and to be able to come out and get first job, be manager of the Cubs, that's pretty special.
He inherited a team that was 51-74, so 23 games below 500 when Lou Piniella resigned. But when Mike Quade took over, they were 24-13 the rest of the way, so 11 games above 500. And he beat out Ryan Sandberg, among others, to get the job full-time this year. He is from Evanston, Illinois, so going back home to manage the Cubs. Starlin Castro got his 100th hit in the first inning, and then was caught trying to steal third, which ended up being a big out. And now Jeff Francoeur makes the play in right field, and Chen has retired 7 in a row.
Dugout Suite, the Big Slick Poker Tournament tomorrow. We have Paul Rudd back. We have Rob Riggle working his way in here. And let's not cut out John Hamm, who is new to this and wearing a Cardinals hat because he's from St. Louis. But will you just turn around and show everybody what he's got his Dankinger 85 jersey. Now Horatio Sands, I think, is going to.
Horatio just got hit by a pitch.
He just got hit by a pitch.
You don't look too good, man. I just got hit in the head by a pitch. How many fingers am I holding up? 3. Yeah. You got it. You're fine. Let's get you some ice. Some more peanuts. Let's just sit down. We doing it poker? Yeah.
All right.
Tomorrow. Good,
Paul Rudd.
Yes.
First off, I want to say nice touch with the jersey, the 34 Paul Splittorff jersey.
Yeah.
We all love that. You got a chance to face George Brett today.
I did.
Face him down, more like it.
I did. Right there. You know, it's a weird thing to be pitching to your hero growing up. And quite a thrill and intimidating. And then he popped out, and
I caught it.
And Hamm caught it. Which, how did that feel?
I'm just glad I didn't drop it. That would have been embarrassing.
John Hamm is here. Last year we had Will Ferrell. I know, John, you weren't here.
Downgrade.
I think that John does pretty well in the world of entertainment, Mad Men, and in the movies as well. But Will started a little something last year, Rob, and it is a catchphrase that has caught on to this day. And look who's on the mound.
Come on, Chad!
Well, actually not at the moment, but it's Ryan Dempster.
He heard me.
He knows.
Come on, Dempster! Come on, Dempster! 4 balls. Walk them.
I didn't know he had 4 balls. Is that a thing? Has he been looked at? Ryan Dempster has 4 ball syndrome?
Yep.
Well, he needs to get that looked at.
Checking in.
Who's the third base coach for the Cubs? Because we need to tie into him.
Yeah.
Now we got the Royals third. Yeah, Ivan De Jesus, also the pronunciation.
Pronounced the G.
Sorry, my bad.
I'm pretty sure.
Ivan De Jesus is the third base coach.
Ex-Cardinal.
Yeah. You know what's so weird is that earlier on I made a reference to Ivan De Jesus. I didn't even know that he was the third base coach.
Did you say De Jesus is just all right?
De Jesus is just all right with me.
Jesus is all right.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
What's going on? Are we winning?
No, we're done.
We're tied up and
We're 1-1 right now, and this event last year, they're going to just carry on the conversation. One serious question, $120,000 raised last year for Children's Mercy.
Yeah, more than double what we expected, so hopefully this year we'll get more than double what we're expecting. So it would be nice to keep that going. It's been an amazing... Oh my God!
Pick up! Help, Chin!
Gets.
I like the aggressive play.
Gets got guts. Gets, that was I like it.
Gets up!
It was heads up play. They actually filled the old ooh, it faked it and went into center field.
They did. It worked. They get
Beautiful day at the K.
So anyway, as I was saying, hopefully it'll be a great. It's been a great event so far. We've got a big crowd here. We've got a lot of people that have come in, and it's very exciting for all of us.
John, being a Cardinals fan, and we will forgive you, it is your responsibility to root against the Cubs, correct?
The best part about it is, I can actually root for the Royals with no fear of reprisal or regret because I'm essentially rooting against the Cubs. So that's how it works. You root for the Cardinals, against the Cubs, then against the Royals. So I've worked it out.
Right.
Rob,
second trumps third.
Yeah, exactly.
Rob, you had a chance to get up there and swing the bat in the wiffle ball tournament. How did that go?
Everybody knows I hit for average, so I feel really good about my performance.
That goes against your name on the back of your jersey, Rob.
What, this? Go. Take it out. Extra bases.
How about Melky Cabrera?
I was very satisfied.
Rob acquitted himself well.
I got on base.
He did not try to upstage anybody being a host.
Thank you.
Did a very nice job.
Thank you for recognizing that's what I was doing.
I understand that.
You're kind of like the Ichiro Suzuki of wiffle ball.
Thank you.
I've always felt that.
Yeah.
In what way?
He's Japanese.
Yeah, people don't know this.
Rob Riggle is 1,000% Japanese.
I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Riggle might actually be a really difficult thing for a Japanese person to actually say.
It was really hard.
Is it true? Is it true? Is it true that you've actually beaten Ichiro in a 40-yard dash? You actually...
I don't like to brag, but yes.
I brought it up.
Since you brought it up, yes.
Wow.
I did. It was down at Westport.
Yeah.
And,
you raced him now.
Were you in a fountain?
It was Kelly's to
Stanford Sons.
Yeah, I live.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
I don't get any of this. I'm not from here.
Well, it's about four. It's a 40-yard dash.
Did you guys have a little magic going last year? You were out here, you were on TV, and things kind of were clicking for the Royals a little bit. It's you guys.
It might be Will Ferrell, who's in Sweden right now.
Oh, is that the excuse?
Will is in Sweden. Adam McKay is here, Will's other half, pretty much. And don't tell that to Vivian.
No, I won't.
But he's in Sweden right now and watching this online.
Bruce Chen, I know during spring training when we talked to him about this big thing, the Come On Chen, which he loves.
Does he love it?
He loves it.
He's cool with it.
He is the Royals team comedian. And he thought maybe, Will Ferrell could help him out and get him a role in a movie.
Sam, You know what? Another chance?
If he was a lefty, maybe. If he was a lefty.
He's a lefty.
If he was a lefty, maybe.
I think Dermott might be right.
No chance. So Bruce Chen needs to stick with
I
pitching.
think they're going a different way. I think they are going a different way. Yeah.
I think Jamie Foxx got it.
It's Jamie Foxx,
All
yeah.
right.
I do think that Bruce Chen did audition for Django Unchained, but Quentin Tarantino's new film that Jamie Foxx is doing.
That's the worst thing an actor can hear, going a different way.
We're going a different way. Yeah. I've heard it.
You didn't get it.
Yeah, we've heard it a lot. They're going a different way. They're going with more auditions.
Did I hear you, Paul, earlier today having a fantasy baseball discussion with Jeff Rancour? He was giving you advice.
He was. I was talking. He's.
This conversation is not sanctioned by Major League Baseball, by the way. I'm pretty sure.
I didn't have the heart to tell him that Bobby Cannavale has him in our league. I've got Gordon, I've got Moose, and Hosmer.
You're going with the young guys.
I'm going young guys. Yeah.
I thought you told Frenchie that you had him.
Yeah, I did that because I didn't want to make it uncomfortable.
Well, Hosmer just struck out, so I'll be happy.
Come on, Chan. I went to try and make the move, but he was already on Cannavale's team. He drafted him.
No trades?
No, not this year.
I've got a very serious question for you. Back to that wiffle ball game.
All right.
You threw at our colleague Nate Bucati, which I congratulate you for, but why?
I didn't like the way he was looking at me. He was
That's a big thing with Paul.
He was giving me stink eye, and he was crowding the plate. And you know what? I have roid rage. I'm not afraid to admit it.
Hemorrhoid rage. It's different.
I've got hemorrhoid rage.
It's a different kind of roids.
Just the rage is equal, though.
Similar rage. Very similar rage.
Yeah. I'm taking medicine.
And therapy. It's all good, though.
I would think if your name
Asteroid rage. I was playing asteroids.
That's really tough too.
I was playing asteroids on an old vintage
spaceship.
Yeah.
You're not getting the thrust you want.
I can't get the thrust, and it just gets me every time, and it made me crazy.
Yeah.
It's making me crazy.
Don't get between asteroids and this man, okay? That's
You got a
rule
line
one.
of quarters.
Yeah. But I think everybody knows that. I think that's common knowledge.
It's kind of obvious. If you're going to start a fight with a pitcher, you would want Rob Riggle on your side as your teammate or manager, because you were kind of the first one out there leading the charge.
I'm kind of a force and a massive man with giant muscles. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
It wasn't what he said at all.
I'm pretty sure that's what I heard.
Well, that's what you
Did
heard.
you tackle Slugger?
You tackled the mascot.
He
the
was
cushiest person on the
I was
field.
helping a teammate who looked like he was in trouble.
Because Slugger was miming kicking dirt on him.
Slugger had ill intent in his eyes, and I had no trouble when I see it. It was either me or him. I made the call.
Is that all part of that military training that you gotta read a situation quickly,
assess, and be decisive. I viewed him as a massive threat. I took him out with vengeance and prejudice.
All right, Melky.
That's what I'm talking about, Melky.
Come on, Melky.
I have to say the Royals are playing some mid-'80s Cardinals baseball.
I don't think anybody wants to hear that, John.
Yeah. Is that an Ozzie Smith move?
Stealing the base when it presents itself. ABC baseball.
I hope Bruce Chen doesn't take a bat to a toilet like Joaquin Andujar.
I hope he does.
Come on, Butler.
And I hope we're all there.
Come on, Billy.
Pow! Pow!
It's coming. I would like for the record to suggest that the guy that just missed.
I tell you something.
Did anybody just see who missed that ball?
Yeah, Matt Castle just missed it.
Matt Castle.
So that happened.
He throws. He doesn't catch.
That's just it. That's
Out of the fear of a two-out story here. No, forget it. No two-out story. Guys, thank you. Here comes Chen.
Come on, Chen! Come on, Chen!
Come on,
Guys,
Come
thank
on,
you.
Chen!
1-1 at Kauffman Stadium.
more, visit kia.com. Big crowd here tonight on a beautiful Friday night. The Chicago Cubs in town, and we're tied at 1 to the 4th inning. And Bruce Chen, who has retired 7 in a row, will get the middle of the Cubs batting order. And Aramis Ramirez fouls the first pitch away. He singled and scored the Cubs run in the first, coming home on Jeff Baker's triple. The Royals tied the game in the second. Brian Pena's sac fly got Alex Gordon to the plate. One ball, one strike. And a big slow curveball drops in. It's 1-2 on Ramirez. First 4 hitters tonight with good swings against Bruce Chen. 3 hits and a line out to the outfield. They're now 7 up, 7 down with 3 strikeouts. And that's drilled into deep left center field. Back goes Melky, and it stays in just barely. And Ramirez gets to second base just barely. Welcome to Kauffman Stadium, Aramis Ramirez.
Well, you hit a ball like that, you kind of assume it's going to go out. And I mean, he's running decently for a ball that's hit that far, but then he realized he better turn it on when the ball came right back down to Cabrera. This ball gets about as close to being out of the ballpark as possible, right against that screen.
Almost wedged back in the padding.
Oh, that would have been interesting to see that.
Seen that one already. So after 7 in a row knocked down, Ramirez opens the 4th with a double, so he's 2 for 2. And now a strike on Jeff Baker, who hit an opposite field triple in the first inning off of Jeff Francoeur's glove.
Yeah, we can safely say if this game stays close down to the end, and the way Ramirez hits Bruce Chen, he might want to pitch around him with men on base.
He is now 8 out of 12 against Bruce Chen with 4 doubles. No balls and 2 strikes on Baker. Let's take a look at tonight's Time Warner Cable wideband internet pitch speeds. Ryan Dempster at 94 so far tonight. Bruce Chen at 90. Every now and then Bruce will get up above 90 miles an hour. 91, 92. Pena's setting up way inside, and it's high and away. So Bruce on the disabled list May the 10th with a lat strain, the big muscle behind his left shoulder. Kind of a combination shoulder back muscle. Out for a month and a half. Before going on the DL, he had won 8 of his last 9 decisions going back to last year. Baker is thrown out, and Ramirez stays put at second base. Remember, you can secure your seat to the 2012 All-Star Game with season tickets. And when you buy 2 season tickets, you get 2 free, starting at just $7 per game. For details, call 816-504-4040 or visit Royals.com. A little bit high to Giovanni Soto.
When the game gets down to fundamentals, and that time Baker had a chance to advance Ramirez to third base, didn't get it done, and you wonder why you continually play close games. If you don't advance those runners and get them in position to score, then that's why you don't get as many runs on the board in the course of the ball game.
So often it happens in the 8th or 9th inning, and you've got a runner in scoring position, and you don't get the big hit. You think, well, if you had gotten that hit, maybe that would have tied the game or won the game. But you forget about what happened way back in the 4th inning when you had a runner at second base and nobody out.
You got to do the fundamental things at the plate. You got to figure out a way to get that runner over. If you can't hit the ball to the right side, then the manager says, I just want you to do the job. So it bunt him over. But whatever you have to do to get that man at third base with 1 out, that's what you have to do.
Another reason why the Cubs are second in the league in hitting, but 9th in the National League in runs scored. They're also 9th in on base percentage. They don't walk often, but Soto's ahead 3-0, and now he will walk, and that's Chen's first. Royals lead the American League in walks. And now 2 on with 1 out. And now Carlos Pena, who is a threat to do many things, hit a home run. He has 14. He has homered in his previous 3 games. He is a threat to strike out 71 times. That's the 5th most in the National League. He is a threat to walk 43 walks, 3rd most in the National League. He has only grounded into 4 double plays. Pena batting at .219, but he has a 7-game hitting streak. 5 home runs, 8 RBIs over his last 7 games. And with his ground out in the 2nd inning, now Pena's just 1 out of 7 against Bruce Chen. That 1 hit was a home run. And now Bruce has missed with 5 in a row.
Yeah, Bruce would love to get that same ground ball that he hit last time. You know, I think that when you can induce that ground ball to second base, that's going to be an easier double play right now than hitting it to, say, Escobar up the middle, standing right behind second base. He'd have to get the ball, run to the base, and then try to make the play to first base. So your brothers haven't hit that Chris gets at this time, at this point.
Those are the changeup, and it's 1-1 on Pena. Bruce is one of those lefties that kind of goes against the book. If you break him down, righties against lefties, he's much better against righties. They hit just .238 against him, while the lefties are hitting .326. But as Frank pointed out earlier, the Cubs only have 2 left-hand batters in the lineup tonight.
I think that's a changeup going down and away to right-hand hitters is really the weapon that gives him the advantage. I think lefties, he doesn't throw that changeup as much because it comes back into the bat. So if he can throw it to the outer half and try to catch the outside corner, it might be a more effective pitch for him.
A soft liner into right center field, well placed. Ramirez comes around third. The throw goes to third, and Soto is out. And the Cubs make another out at third base. So it's 2-1. Say once again, it could have been worse for the Royals. Another outfield assist for the Royals outfield. That is 26 this year.
Well, Francoeur comes up aggressively on his throw when he misses Escobar. I'm thinking, oh, that we got a chance to go to the batter runner, go to second base. But Moustakas does a good job catching this ball and putting the tag down.
Well, you can see why Soto was upset with third base umpire Tim Timmons. He may have gotten that foot in before the tag.
Right, that's one of those plays there too, right? I talk about all the time. When you have to have a close play like that, you might want to just get down in the dirt with the sliding runner. You don't want to get under his feet, but just make it look really good to the umpire where you're not standing on your feet and appear to be reaching for the tag. But he got the favorable call in that situation.
1 ball, 1 strike. And the 9 outfield assists for Jeff Francoeur that ties him for the league lead with his teammate Alex Gordon and with the Indians Shin-Soo Choo.
No, the one thing that the Royals outfielders do is they when they throw from the outfield, they don't use a cutoff man. Doug Sisson wants them to be able to throw the ball all the way to the base and try to throw that one hop throw. But a lot of times if you're the cutoff man and not used to being the cutoff man from a shortstop perspective, you got to get deeper toward third base, and that batter runner can see you down there. But Escobar was up near second base, so when that ball went directly over his head, then Pena just kept going.
Soriano grounded out to third in the 2nd inning. Blocked by Pena, 3 balls and 1 strike. Alfonso Soriano stole a base on Wednesday. And the reason that is notable, that was his first stolen base since August of last year. He's had one stolen base between August the 19th and June the 22nd. This is a guy who's had a 40-40 season. He will be walked intentionally, and the Royals will have a fresh count against Lou Montañez. The Royals and Fox Sports Kansas City present our second University Day at Kauffman Stadium. It's KU night on July 23rd, so all Jayhawk fans are invited to take advantage of special ticket prices. Join us for special pregame activities. Go to Royals.com/KU for more information. Presented by the TV home of the Big 12, Fox Sports Kansas City. So 2 on, and Montañez takes a strike over the outside. Struck out in the second inning. Bruce got him on a changeup. Montañez 0 for his last 8.
And he carries a .417 average with runners in scoring position. That's 5 for 12.
And drilled to deep left field. Alex Gordon is back, and Montañez hits it off the wall. Soriano slowly coming around third. The Royals have a shot. He's out at the plate. Another outfield assist. Another runner thrown out at home. Single in the second inning. He has thrown out a runner at the plate. We remind you to look for our Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment later in tonight's game, and Alex is building a strong case already. Right after Jeff Francoeur tied him for the league lead with his 9th outfield assist, Gordon ended the inning with his 10th, which leads the major leagues. Back in the second inning, led off against Ryan Dempster with a single, and scored on Brian Pena's sacrifice fly. Dempster off the mound quickly and throws it away. It is backed up by the second baseman LeMahieu. Alex has to dive back in because he had made a move to second base. Let's go back to the final out at the top of the 4th.
Well, this is what you have to do as an outfielder. You got to hit that first guy, and he does a great job, and Escobar catches it right in stride and makes a nice play, and Brian Pena does a super job blocking Soriano off home plate. Then he comes right up, and this is Alex. That's his leadoff mode right there. Trying to get a bunt down. Dempster's had trouble with that bunt from Chris Getz, but he throws away a bunt attempt here from Alex Gordon. And Alex forgets when that ball hits that wire down there, it kind of kicks the ball back to the infield side of first base, and he made a quick dash back to first base.
So an error on Dempster. Cubs have the second most errors in the National League. That is their 60th. Last year, the Cubs had 126 errors. Jeff Francoeur flied out to left field in the second inning. And that is belted to left field. Jeff Francoeur ties the game in the fourth inning. Did he need that, and for a little extra measure he cleared the bullpen and hit it into the Hall of Fame seats.
All right, there was no doubt about that when he first connected off his bat, and he needed that in the worst way.
It is his first home run in over a month, his 10th of the year, driving in his 44th and 45th runs. And now Mike Moustakas jolts it to right, but Fukudome is there. Make that Montañez, and that's the first out of the fourth inning.
Let me take a look at this. Looked like a cutter that just didn't get away from Francoeur. And you see Ryan cutting right off the shoulder with this swing, and stays back on his backside, hit against a stiff front side, and this ball just takes off with the bat speed coming through. There was no doubt about that. He really needed that big hit right there.
So he's had quite a game already. He's gone slamming into the wall in the top of the first inning. That knocked him sideways and threw out a runner at third base in the top half of this inning, and now ending the long homerless drought and tying the game.
No, wait. Go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
Just going to say that's a 14th home run given up by Ryan Dempster. That's not as interesting as what you're about to say.
No, I was just going to say, it just amazes me how well the Royal outfielders play the ball off the wall. I mean, Alex went out there, got the ball on the first bounce. Cabrera off the first bounce off the top of the wall. They just seem to be just in the right place at the right time. You don't see them chasing balls around the warning track.
So 2 down on the Brian Pena pop-out. The 2012 Royals Alumni Fantasy Camp features 18 former Royals, including George Brett, Frank White, Jeff Montgomery, Willie Wilson, and many others. January 30th through February 3rd in Surprise, Arizona. You'll play against past Royals legends. You'll have your own uniform. You'll have your own locker in the big league clubhouse. And you'll take part in daily practice sessions. 816-504-4150. 2 balls and no strikes on Alcides Escobar. Grounded out to short on a nice play by Castro in the second inning. And now 3 balls and no strikes. Three and 1. And now Escobar walks with 2 down. That is Dempster's first of the game, and Mike Quade's pitching staff has walked the most in the National League. Really no surprise when the team ERA is high to see both teams, and the Royals and the Cubs both have the highest ERAs in their leagues, that somehow walks are always closely associated to a high ERA.
Well, walks and deep counts in general. A lot of times you, as a pitcher, you lose your aggressiveness in the strike zone, and you start pitching away from contact. That's where most of the walks come from. And you see guys who have a lot of movement on their fastballs, but they still try to pitch the corners rather than just pitching down the middle of the plate and just letting the ball do what it needs to do.
Chris Getz with a bunt single in the 3rd inning. Chris Getz was involved in an odd play in the bottom of the 3rd. After his bunt single, he attempted to steal second. It appeared that he was safe, but he slid through the bag, and rather than trying to get back to second base, he tried to advance to 3rd, and the Cubs got him in a rundown, and he was out. It was ruled a caught stealing at second base, but you wonder, should have this been a stolen base? And then he was just involved in a put out in between second and 3rd trying to advance.
Well, he did actually steal the base, and that's what allowed him to be able to get in that rundown. So that's a play you don't see very often at all.
I guess the reason it's not a stolen base is the second base umpire, Mark Rippinger, never said safe. Line to right center. That's down for a base hit. Escobar will go first to 3rd, and Chris Getz just keeps swinging the bat. 4 hits, a couple of runs scored in the Arizona series, and now he has 2 hits tonight.
You know, if there's one hitter on this team that knows what kind of hitter he is, it's Chris Getz. All he does is just stand there, just comes down on top of the ball, hits line drives, and he just sprays the ball into the outfield. And Escobar does a good job just going on with 2 outs, just running on the plate, and ends up at 3rd base. But he's just so relaxed at the plate. I mean, he just uses all hands. And like I say, I seriously doubt if he ever tries to hit a double. I think it's all about just getting base hits.
So the Royals have 2 in the inning on the long Francoeur home run. And then with 2 outs and nobody on after the home run, a walk and a single. And now Melky Cabrera. Melky doubled and stole 3rd in the 3rd inning. He popped out in the 1st. With that base hit for Chris Getz against the National League this year, he's hitting .451. Two balls and no strikes on Melky. Line base hit left field, and the Royals have taken the lead. It wasn't with 2 strikes, but it was his 2-strike approach going the other way and driving in Escobar to put the Royals in front 4-3.
Now this is a really good piece of hitting with it. 2 balls, no strikes, and you're looking to try to turn on something, but this fastball is out over the plate. He goes right with the pitch, line drive into left field. It's a good piece of hitting by Cabrera. If you want to really look at consistent from day one of any of the Royals hitters, he's got to be in the top 2 of the guys who just come to play every single day, playing well in the outfield, done everything fundamentally right. He's done an outstanding 2-strike hitter, but just taking whatever the pitcher gives him, and it's been a tough out at the plate. So
3 runs home, 2 of the runs are unearned. And now Eric Hosmer, who is grounded out to second and struck out. Over the outside for strike one. All of a sudden, Eric Hosmer is hitting .265. Change up riding away, and it's 0-2. Tell you what, he's not getting his hits right now, but just by the look in his eyes, you don't see any fear at all. I mean, he still has a fierce look in his eyes, as if he's waiting for the next pitch so he can attack it. Reaching to put it in play. Dempster gets to the bag in front of him. The Royals come up with 3 in the bottom of the 4th. It started with Jeff Francoeur's 2-run home run, and then Melky Cabrera driving in the 3rd in the inning. And lead by 1, and we're joined in the booth by a former Cub, also a former Philadelphia Phillies outfielder, Doug Glanville, who has written a book. He'll be at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum tomorrow to talk about his book and talk about his big league career. And you're used to this buzz, having been with the Cubs. This happens no matter where the Cubs are, right?
No, everywhere you go, they have a following. Definitely, somebody recognized me on the concourse, and he made a bet with his friend. That's Glanville. That's Glanville. So he turned out to be right. It was real cool. But they have a lot of love for everybody.
Cubs beginning the top of the 5th inning, and it's DJ LeMahieu grounding out to short. So he is 0 for 2 against Bruce Chen. Tell us about your book, The Game from Where I Stand.
Well, you know, I've been writing this column for a while in the New York Times, and it kind of evolved to this book, and it's really just a life in the game. And I wanted to tell stories that were real personal, that every player goes through. I didn't want to really have it this resume kind of bullet point book. I really wanted to get into the real emotional honesty about what you deal with, like getting released, traded, dealing with the family dynamics, you know, sickness, getting pushed out the door, the steroid era, dating. I mean, I cover it all. It's and it's a lot of fun. It's a fun ride. It's a true roller coaster because in my career I was a lot of different things in the game. I was a draft pick 1st round, but then I became like the lost the step guy, and the Marlon Byrd era came and took me out. And so you know it is, you just go through that cycle, and I wanted to show the fans what it's really like.
Well, I'm sure they'd be really interested in it because, like you say, you come into the game, you get traded, you get released, you get sent down. There's a lot of emotion that goes with that, and I think people just assume that when that happens, you just feel good about going back to AAA. But anytime that you released or anything like that, that's a big emotional attachment that comes with it. I know when I got released by the Royals after the '90 season, and after being here for so long, you really have to come to grips with that, and it's not easy.
Nice play by Moustakas on the left side. So 2 ground ball outs for Bruce Chen. And as we take another look at this play, we also should point out about Doug Glanville, he didn't say this about himself, but you were one of the rare Ivy League guys in the major leagues.
Yeah. Well, I took some heat. There was a guy, Tuffy Rhodes, who used to call me the rocket scientist. So that was a little more than I was, but I had fun. But in the end, it turned out to be this wonderful thing that people shared, especially with the fans and parents that always wanted to talk about school with their kids. So, but I certainly took some heat for a while, but it was fun, all good fun.
Now, I've heard that, and I've read some of your writing since you've got on this side of the game, but it is definitely unique, and I wonder if it was something that maybe you considered when you were still playing, that, you know, being in two huge markets, Chicago and Philadelphia, if I had an opportunity to write, this is the angle I would go with.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, like most players, I had no idea what I was going to do next. No idea. And it just worked out that I found this article to write about the story there, and it just took off from there.
Can you stick around for another half inning?
Absolutely.
A quick inning for Bruce Chen as the Royals lead 4-3. Coming up in the bottom of the 5th inning, and we'll take a look at tonight's AT&T trivia question, which is, who is the Cubs manager? I think the rules are that you can only have one at a time. When they last visited Kauffman Stadium in 2000. Cubs manager last time they were here in Kansas City. It'll be Billy Butler, Alex Gordon, and Jeff Francoeur here in the bottom of the 5th inning as we continue to visit with former Major League outfielder Doug Glanville. He'll be at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum tomorrow at the Field of Dreams to talk about his book, The Game from Where I Stand. And we were also talking about you being an Ivy League player. And I remember when you were playing in college and you had a chance to, you ended up going to Penn, but you could have gone to Princeton and could have gone to Yale.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's obviously education was a big part of your life even before baseball was.
No, and I credit my parents are just amazing. My dad came from Trinidad, first generation from the island, and really gave us opportunity. My mom was a teacher for many years.
Billy trying for 2, and he is tagged out. So he is 1 for 3.
But, you know, my mom was a teacher 27 years in the school system, so it was important for us growing up that, you know, we recognize opportunity came from your ability to get education. So they really pushed in, and I absolutely enjoyed it. And so I had a great opportunity to go to the University of Pennsylvania and get an engineering degree. And because even if you have a great career, you're going to be 34, 35 years old and be done with the game.
Did you think at all about that when you were playing? Now, I know you just said a while ago that when you're playing, you don't know what you're going to do the next year. But, I mean, was there that sense of ease that, well, if this doesn't work out, I mean, I've got a degree from Penn for crying out loud.
But who wants to leave baseball? See, that's the thing. Like, that's it's a great job, and I didn't really want it. No player really rides off to the sunset. It's rare. You kind of struggle through it, and it's a hard transition for a lot of players, even in the best of circumstances. So I certainly had something to fall back on. I've been able to find this wonderful niche as an analyst and doing work in baseball. I just want to do a lot to improve the community of baseball, and it's a passion of mine. But I found a lot of support in making that transition, and that was a big difference to make a bearable.
Tough hop on Pena, so Alex will reach with one out. We'll see how they score it. Alex has scored twice already tonight with a single, and he reached on an air back in the fourth.
Well, just a really nice hop right there. He just couldn't get his glove up with that ball. Just had a late hop, caught him in between, and it just one of those hops when you in between, it's just hit and miss with most infielders.
And it is a base hit, so the score takes in or accounts for the tough hop. What was it like? We hear so much about New York, Doug. You know, are you made for New York? Are you not made for New York? Philadelphia, tough market to play in. What was unique about playing for the Chicago Cubs?
Well, I remember the first year, Frank Castillo was there running in the outfield, and I think he started the year like 0-9 or 0-8. And at first they were cheering, like, "That's okay, Frank, you'll be 1-9." And I didn't quite hear that in Philly. Philly was not playing that. So they were very, like, comforting in a lot of ways. As a young player coming up, I had a very easy transition in that respect. And, over time, the expectation got higher. I was on the 03 team in the playoffs, and obviously that was a disaster on some level, but it's still a good year. It's just one of those markets I felt like there's a family environment. It's a great stadium, and you're also, you have a 9 to 5 day games, and I felt very much part of the community when I was in Chicago.
Doug, was there one event in your career that kind of spurred you to write this book that you're writing? Did something happen to you that maybe getting released or getting traded or going from one team to, was it anything that you can point to say, hey, look, I need to write a book about these things?
Yeah, there was a couple of events. I think my father passed away during my career, and he passed away actually the last game of the season in 2002, when I got my 1,000th hit of my career that day. It was really a convergence of a lot of amazing things. And I think that really started me thinking, because my dad wrote a lot of poetry and loved writing. And then the Mitchell Report broke about the drug culture, and I was really frustrated at the name calling and name naming, and I thought there was another spot that players would have loved to talk about. That was, they're actually scared to death. It's, yes, you want to make money, yeah, but you're also afraid of your career ending before you're ready. And I think a lot of guys do desperate things, so I wanted to get into that, and that really created an understanding, a bridge between the fans and the player that I hadn't seen in a while, and that's what I wanted to run with.
Frank Coor out on a fly ball to left field, so 2 down in the 5th inning. And while we have Doug Glanville, and sorry to needle you like your teammates, but while we have an Ivy Leaguer in the booth, Doug, who do you think the Cubs manager was when they visited Kauffman Stadium in 2000?
Ooh, I should know this because I was probably playing against him. Let's see, there was, when did Lou Piniella get there? A little bit early. Dusty Baker. I'm going to throw Lou Baker.
I'm going to guess Jim Riggleman.
I'm thinking Jim Riggleman too. I think, wasn't it Riggleman, Baker, and then Piniella, I believe. It was Don Baylor.
Don Baylor.
Don Baylor.
I forgot all about that. Yeah. Wow.
Right. We just saw him.
I still
see the Diamondbacks.
I still see him in Colorado.
Yeah. So I believe Jim Riggleman preceded Don Baylor.
That was my first major league manager.
Okay.
Yeah, Don Riggleman, and he was really positive, a good guy for young players. So I enjoyed playing for him that first year.
And since you're an analyst now, that makes yesterday's decision kind of puzzling, to leave that situation the way he did. There's two sides to it, obviously.
Well, I always saw Jim as a guy he was the captain of a ship, and he's very loyal. And I think he fed off of loyalty, and whatever he was dealing with and frustrated with, I think that's what sort of made his decision. But it must have been something ongoing because he's a pretty patient guy. As a rookie, he always whispered to me on the side, like, "Hey, Glanville, you're all right. You're gonna get a chance to play every day." He used to kind of come to you and tell you, even if the front office made different decisions, he'd always support you in what he believed your future would be. So I always appreciated that about him. And I think when he doesn't feel like he has that support, I think that's when he is most frustrated.
Sure. Frank and I discussed it yesterday, and as I said, there's two sides to every story, but I would think if he were to hang in there and the Nationals continue to improve, maybe they wouldn't want him back next year, but that might set him up for another managing job. But he must have known that it was time to go.
Yeah, something was going on, no doubt about it.
Don't just walk away from jobs like that. Yeah, he did. He ended on a walk-off win, and the Nationals going above 500. So.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where he said, I really wasn't asking for them to pick up my option. I just wanted to discuss it and see where we were with it. And when they just completely just shut the whole thing down, I guess he saw that as handwriting on the wall right there.
And I think you know it as a player or a manager when the sort of the writing's on the wall. You definitely have a sense for it. And I know when I was about to lose my job and starting, I know the Marlon Bird era came in, and there was, and I was fine with Marlon. I mentored him. I made it into a positive, but I recognize that as you get older in the game, things change, and you're not going to give you the latitude to sort of figure it out if you're struggling. You have to produce much more quickly as a veteran player.
Long run for Soriano, and we saw a couple of innings ago he's not running like he used to. Speaking of Marlon Bird, he is not with the Chicago Cubs. He's with them now, but last month was hit in the face by a pitch and suffered multiple facial fractures, so he's still on the disabled list.
Yeah, it's a very scary time. I got hit in the head once by Frank Viola, who was making his comeback in AAA, and I actually blamed myself because I was leaning out on that changeup he throws away, and he threw a fastball up and in, and I couldn't get out of the way. And I had such a bad relationship with my manager. The joke was he ran in to check to see if the helmet was broken.
Alex runs, and Moustakas pulls it to first. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, you can see Doug Glanville at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. He'll be talking about his book, The Game from Where I Stand. Thanks, Doug.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me on. Sad you're dad.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Find the new Ford F-150 you're looking for at thoroughbredford.com. Beautiful night in Kansas City, and now a gorgeous sunset to go with it. And the Royals lead 4-3 in game 1 of 3 with the Chicago Cubs. So Bruce Chen giving up a run in the first inning, 2 more in the fourth. But in the bottom of the fourth inning, the Royals scored 3. So Bruce with the lead, and he'll get Aramis Ramirez, Jeff Baker, and Giovanni Soto. That is another base hit for Ramirez against Bruce Chen. Alex Gordon on it quickly. Ramirez to second. It is not even close. If Chris Getz wanted to, he could have grabbed that ball and ran back to first and met Ramirez in between first and second base.
Well, you know, Ryan, anytime you hit a ball down that line, you just assume it's going to be a double. You run hard, but Alex does a great job getting in that corner and getting rid of this ball. A one-hop throw to Chris Getz, and Ramirez is out easily. I mean, he had to look back at the screen to see what the heck happened, but Alex just really pounced on that ball in a hurry.
So make it 11 outfield assists for Alex Gordon to add to his major league lead, 2 tonight. Jeff Francoeur has also thrown out a runner. He has 10 this year. And now it's no balls and 2 strikes on Jeff Baker. I must point out, getting back to the base hit for Ramirez, he's 3 for 3 against Bruce Chen tonight, and now 9 out of 13 in his career. Baker is out and a ground ball to short. He's 1 for 3. Tonight is a carsoup.com email the booth night. Go to carsoup.com/Royals. Once you're there, CarSoup will ask for your zip code. Fill that in. You'll be sent to a different page and then submit your question. Joel Goldberg is looking at those questions and will report on some later in the game. Giovanni Soto is struck out and he is walked. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You take some guys when they're hurt, they're on the DL for a while, they go to rehab, and to get the rehab starts, and usually get 5, 6, maybe 7. He only had 2 games, and that might be a reason why he's struggling with the bat. Sometimes those at least a week of games will kind of get the bat going for you a little bit, but you come right back in after being on the DL and you only have 2 rehab starts, and that'll slow you down. Back in the old days when we didn't have rehab, when you didn't have to go out for rehab, you used to always build in maybe a week on the end so you could take batting practice and get a lot of swings in before you get back in the lineup. But now in his case, you can get down there for at least 21 days if you have to and get ready. But 2 days just doesn't seem to be enough to get your swing back.
And he strikes out. Well, because of the good play on defense, Chen faces only 3.
From Olathe, Kansas. If the Royals hit a home run this inning, Lisa will win $3,000. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Lisa will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals.
All right, Lisa, you have Brian Pena, Alcides Escobar, and Chris Getz in the bottom of the 6th. Cubs scored in the first. Royals tied it in the second. And then the Cubs with 2 in the fourth inning to lead 3-1. Royals came back with 3 in the bottom of the fourth. And the big hit in that inning was Jeff Francoeur's 2-run home run. Francoeur is homered. He has an outfield assist, his 9th. Alex Gordon has 2 outfield assists. He has 11, which leads the major leagues. And the Royals have 28 outfield assists as a team. That is 7 more than last year. This is game number 77. Make that 76. Game number 76, and they have 7 more outfield assists than all of last year. They have thrown out 14 runners at the plate already. Two balls and 2 strikes. Brian Pena with a sacrifice fly in the second inning that tied the game at 1, and he has popped out to second.
Well, you really can't be anything but impressed with what they've done in the outfield so far, Ryan. The thing that really impressed me.
This is a long run for both Fukudome and Montañez, and Fukudome makes the play to get Brian Pena. That ball just seemed to hang up forever, and it actually went into the wind, so that actually may have helped out Fukudome. 1 away.
Well, you're right, Ryan. It does hang up. He gets under it just a little bit. It does travel, but he has a long time to run underneath this ball, and catches it just short of the warning track with a few steps to go. But he catches it pretty easily, though. It didn't seem like there was a lot of effort there other than just getting there and making the catch. But what I was saying about the outfield is that the position that they're in when they field the ball, it's almost like they've always in that right position to get rid of the ball, and there's never any hesitation about what they want to do with it when they get it. And I think when you watch cutoff and relays, what messes up a cutoff and relay? That short hop to the first guy, throwing the ball over the head of the first guy. But they've been able to hit that guy regularly, and the guys that are receiving the cutoff throws like Escobar or Get, their feet are always in a position where they're ready to make the throw to the next base. So the hesitation in making these throws right now are absent.
Escobar strikes out. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Dempster has 3 strikeouts tonight. Royals tailgaters become a parking lot legend by entering the Ultimate Royals Tailgate Sweepstakes. A lucky winner will be selected each month and receive a tailgate for up to 30 catered by Jack Stack Barbecue. Royals game tickets for the entire group and much more. Entries end on June 30th. Royals.com/ultimate tailgate. Chris Getz has singled twice. One ball, 1 strike. As you were talking, Frank, about the Royals outfield and their ability to hit the cutoff man, it just struck me how much they've cleaned that up this year as opposed to last year. The Royals may have led the league last year in missing the cutoff man.
Well, in all honesty, the Royals are one of those teams that do go out and throw. You know, they take their outfielders out, they make them throw to the bases without a cutoff man. Well, a lot of these teams don't take infield anymore. And when you don't take infield, the 2 areas that get hurt most are catchers and the outfielders, because that first throw that a catcher makes is live. It's when a guy's still in the base, and the outfielder, that first throw that he makes is when a guy's trying to go first or third. They got to try to make a throw to keep a guy at first from second base. So you go out there and practice it. Doug Sisson has them out there and make them throw. And so when they do go to throw, they've done it enough that it's nothing that's going to surprise them about the throw. It's because they've done it enough times that it's almost part of their routine.
It's interesting thinking about it. Doug Sisson is a great combination of knowing how to exploit the outfield as a base runner, and then as the outfield coach knowing how to shut down the running game. So he's working it from both sides.
Well, you really shut down that running game as an outfielder by getting to the ball quickly and being in position like on a sac fly, get behind the ball, and the third base coach sees that you're in good position to come through and make a throw. That shuts them down. But just getting to it, get that quick release, and that shut down the running game right away. Keep the ball, keep the throws down.
That's Dempster's best inning, 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts. Fox Sports Kansas City broadcast booth. You'll never sacrifice taste for 0 calories again with Pepsi Max. New look, same great taste. Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Carlos Pena, Alfonso Soriano, and Lou Montañez coming up in the 7th inning. It's a carsoup.com email the booth night. Let's go to Joel.
All right, got a bunch of them, Ryan. Jimmy McVeigh, an independent, says that Brian Pena appears to have painted fingernails. Is this so the pitcher can see the signals better? He did tell me he went to the salon today. No, it is so that the pitcher can see those better, and Brian will usually be painting on some of that white out before the game, sitting in the dugout before he goes to warm up the pitcher. So a lot of pitchers will do that. Andrew Kane in Windermere, Florida, wants to know if every team has an all-star representative. They do. We discussed that the other night.
Carlos Pena off the chain link out in right field. That is his 2nd hit tonight. And the Cubs have the tying runner at second base with nobody out.
I think the fans were getting excited there about thinking maybe there could be a 4th outfield assist. Ryan, we have more questions, but I know Ned Yost coming to the mound right now.
He has Blake Wood warming up out in the bullpen. And now some right-hand batters coming up. And now Ned makes the call. So Bruce Chen will go 6+ innings in his return. And a Chevy call to the bullpen brings Blake Wood into the game. Big crowd here tonight for game one between the Royals and the Cubs. And remember, if you take your group out to Kauffman Stadium, you'll save big. Groups of 20 or more get a significant discount compared to single game ticket prices. And for tickets, call 816-504-4040 or visit royals.com/group. So Blake Wood comes on in the 7th inning with the tying run at second base and nobody out. Making his 26th appearance. We'll get Alfonso Soriano and then Lou Montañez.
You like to see some situational hitting right here. Soriano got kind of a long swing, but he can go the other way.
Well, he gets it to the right side, and a diving attempt by Francoeur, but he trapped it. And Pena read it well. He's able to go to third base. So not exactly how Soriano and the Cubs planned it, but it worked out for him. And there are runners at first and third with nobody out.
But Francoeur does a good job trying to get there. He came a long way, and he was just able to trap it in his glove, but really couldn't keep Pena from going to third base. You just got to go out there and he just read it well. If Francoeur catches his ball, it's a difficult play to get back to second base. So he gambled and stayed out halfway, and it paid off for him.
Right-hand hitting Lou Montañez scheduled to hit, but the Cubs will send Blake DeWitt to the plate. So that's how the Cubs counter the move of Blake Wood coming in. Blake against Blake, and a fastball at 96 makes the count no balls and 1 strike. Blake DeWitt is from Missouri, but a long way from here. He is from Sikeston, Missouri, which is the southeast corner of the state. So he is not far from the Illinois, Kentucky, and Tennessee borders. Drafted in the first round as a sandwich pick in 2004. He was going to go to Georgia Tech, where he may have been a teammate of Blake Wood's, who went to Georgia Tech. And the scout that signed Blake DeWitt was Mitch Webster with the Dodgers then, and now with the Royals. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Being from Sikeston, Missouri, that's a home of Lambert's, house of thrown rolls. So I wonder if he's been there. I would say yes.
I would think so. I'll bet he knows every road that gets to Lambert's. Fouled off the right field line and out of play. Blake Wood, for the record, was drafted by the Royals in 06. So Blake Wood and Blake DeWitt would have been teammates at Georgia Tech had DeWitt not signed with the Dodgers. Chance for 2. 4, 6, 3. Got him at first. A run scores. Well, the game is tied at 4, but the Royals will trade the run for 2 outs.
And Blake Wood throws that sinker, and this is tailor-made right here. Gets Escobar the first pitch to Hosmer. That tailor-made double play right there.
The run is charged to Bruce Chen, so you can close the book on him. 4 runs, 7 hits in 6 innings. And he will take a no decision. And now DJ LeMahieu. And that's ball 1 down and away. Talking about Blake DeWitt and Blake Wood, how they could have been teammates at Georgia Tech. Well, DJ LeMahieu and Lewis Coleman were teammates at Louisiana State and played together on the 2009 national championship team. That hit the bag. Hosmer gloves it, and no chance for an out at first base. So a fluky hit for LeMahieu, and he's at first with 2 down.
You know what comes out of this, Ryan, is the agility of Eric Hosmer right here. This ball hits the bag, and he just had the presence to just track this ball and still almost got him at first base. A lot of first basemen wouldn't have had a second shot at that ball, but he did a great job tracking that ball once it came off the bat.
Normally, when a first baseman is tried in the outfield, I mean, that is really a stretch. Those two positions don't normally go hand in hand, and I don't think the Royals have any plans of making Eric Hosmer an outfielder. He has taken some fly balls from time to time, but watching him move around first base, you could see where he would be the rare first baseman that would probably do well in the outfield.
Well, he's just got tremendous baseball instincts, and that's really all it takes. And for a big guy, he wouldn't be a guy that couldn't cover ground in the outfield. He's got good strides.
And a line drive, base hit into center field. LeMahieu will stop at second as Melky is on it quickly. And Kosuke Fukudome has his first hit. 2 on with 2 out. This July, baseball's biggest stars will gather together in the Arizona desert for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event, as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 Major League All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix at 7 p.m. only on Fox. Bob McClure out to have a word with Blake Wood, and we remind you that tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre with Frank White, Joel Goldberg, producer Kevin Schenk, director Steve Kurtenbach, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, and the producer of Royals Live is T.J. McGinnis. Little Timmy McGinnis. So a .323 hitter at the plate, Starlin Castro. 1 for 3 tonight. Got his 100th hit this year back in the first inning. And a nice save by Brian Pena.
Now this is where Brian has really gotten better. You can see that he worked so hard on his defense, and he was able to slide out and get his body in front of that ball and keep it from getting behind him.
So far in this inning, thanks to the double play, the Cubs have 1 run, 4 hits. Across the knees, 1 ball, 1 strike. Carlos Pena opened the inning with a double, and Blake Wood replaced Bruce Chen. Soriano singled to right to put runners at first and third. Blake DeWitt, a pinch hitter, grounded into a double play, and now back-to-back hits from LeMahieu and Fukudome. 2-1. Told you earlier, Starlin Castro, man, what a big league debut he had last year. Hit a home run in his first major league at bat at Cincinnati off of Homer Bailey. And then he ended up with 6 RBIs in his first big league game. That's a major league record. And now he drives it into right field. LeMahieu is going to be held. And that was a good decision. Alex Gordon has thrown out 2 on the bases tonight. Jeff Francoeur has 1. And it would have been 2. Third base coach Ivan De Jesus throwing his stop sign up for LeMahieu at third base.
Well, just watch how aggressively Francoeur gets his ball. I mean, he just takes his ball into his glove, and he's already into his throw up, and this throw was already on his way to home plate. And Ivan De Jesus did a great job of stopping LeMahieu on that play.
Aramis Ramirez, 3 for 3 against Bruce Chen. He faces Blake Wood for the first time, and a riding fastball hits the inside corner. Aramis Ramirez has a .692 career batting average against Bruce Chen. He is 9 out of 13. Jammed him, and 0-2 against Blake Wood. Yeah, he's seen a lot of Chen. He hasn't seen Blake Wood at all.
Man, I tell you, Blake Wood's fastball is really running in on his hand. The first one on the inside corner, and that one just jumped inside. And he's got an open path to the outer half of the plate if he wants it after those first 2 pitches.
1 run, 5 hits for the Cubs in this inning. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Warms up behind Blake Wood. Getting hot, as they say, meaning he's throwing out there like he would in the game. Pena saves another one in the dirt and then stares down LeMahieu at third base.
Well, and these are not easy balls to block right here. The ball's going to come back into him, but he was able to get that one into his glove and make it a little bit easier. But anytime the ball goes away like that, a breaking ball, it's going to go back to his left, and he's sliding to his right. So you got to be pretty exact and center it into your body.
Got him with a fastball, 99 miles an hour. So the Cubs get 5 hits, but only 1 run. They tie the game. Middlebrook, a favorite of State Park, a favorite state park for many visitors of many years. The park is a geological wonder. Many people enjoy its beautiful day use area. Go to visitmo.com to start planning your next Missouri getaway. Tonight was the Big Slick Celebrity Whipple Ball game, and here are some of the celebrities singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." The Royals and Cubs are tied at 4. Going to the bottom of the 7th. Chevy called to the bullpen for the Cubs. Righty Ryan Dempster is replaced by lefty James Russell. Russell out of the Cubs organization, out of the University of Texas. He is the son of Jeff Russell, who was a major league relief pitcher for a long time.
He closed for the Rangers for a short time there.
And James Russell spent a lot of time at the ballpark at Arlington. Top of the order, Melky Cabrera, Eric Hosmer, and Billy Butler. Campana takes over in center field. And Kosuke Fukudome moves over to right. As the Cubs batted for Lou Montañez in the top of the 7th inning. And Fukudome in right field takes care of Melky Cabrera. Melky is 2 for 4. The 8 greatest moments in Major League All-Star Game history are going head-to-head to determine which is the most memorable of all time. Go to MLB.com/moments and vote now for your favorite moment. And if you watch the All-Star Game on Tuesday, July 12th, you will find out who won. MLB.com/moments. One ball, one strike on Eric Hosmer. 0 for 3 with a strikeout and just 1 out of 16 so far on this homestand. Down 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gets a big bounce, and Russell just got to the bag in front of Hosmer, and there are 2 down in the 7th inning. Let's update our You Call It question for tonight. Your favorite team from Chicago? 34% going with the Cubs in front of the Bulls. Nobody likes the White Sox. Mike Quade is out, so Russell's job was to face Cabrera and Hosmer, and now with Billy Butler coming up, it'll be Chris Carpenter taking over for the Cubs. Tie in the bottom of the 7th inning. This is game 1 of 3 with the Royals and the Cubs. Tomorrow night, Danny Duffy will start against Carlos Zambrano. 6:10 game. Ivy Royals Live begins at 5:30. And remember, if you're coming out tomorrow, you want to get here early, as Kevin Napier will be inducted into the Royals Hall of Fame. So this is Chris Carpenter, not to be confused with Chris Carpenter. This is a rookie right-hander for the Cubs, making just his 6th appearance. The other day, he hit 100 on the radar gun, and the first pitch to Billy Butler comes in at 99 miles an hour.
Yeah, good fastball. We've been seeing a lot of good fastballs out of the pen in the last series with the Diamondbacks, and here with Chris Carpenter. The only glitch right now on Chris Carpenter is that he's allowed all 5 of his inherited runners to score, and so that he gets a clean inning right now. So they're hoping that this will make a difference for him.
And he's fallen behind. That pitch 100 miles an hour, but it's outside 3-0. Billy is singled 1 for 3. He has hit in 5 straight games. And he looked like he was going to swing if he liked the pitch. Instead, it's a 4-pitch walk. That's Carpenter's 3rd walk in 3 2/3 innings. Not what Mike Quade had in mind when he made the call to the bullpen. So Carpenter stays in to face Alex Gordon. Alex has an 11-game hitting streak. 2 hits tonight. He's also reached on an error. Alex is hitting .500 during this homestand. 7 out of 14. 2 doubles, a triple, a home run, 4 runs scored, 2 RBIs.
That's a good thing. Really nice to see him having a good year. Sometimes it takes a while to put it together, and he stayed with it, made the adjustments he needed to make, and now things are paying off for him.
Carlos Pena, he did this all the time with the Rays. Acts as though he's going to the rosin bag, but really just offering words of encouragement for a young pitcher. Carpenter's thrown 6 pitches, 0 strikes. .100 miles an hour.
I wonder what that feels like.
I wonder if your hand gets hot. You know, like you just shot some fire out of your hand.
From the seams of the
kind of like the smoking barrel. You know, if you look at a guy's fingertips after he throws a pitch like that.
Ooh, that's awful fast.
Yeah. Took a little off. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's been fastball. Haven't seen what he's had to go with it. A lot of times a guy that throws that hard, usually his slider's pretty hard also, somewhere around 87, 88.
Just missed inside. Not according to Fox Tracks. So 3 balls and 2 strikes, and Butler will be running.
Well, you think the umpire, you think Jeff Kellogg sees that ball very long?
Think he's throwing a fastball?
That's like a missile coming in there.
Started to swing. No swing. Tim Timmons, the umpire at 3rd base. So Carpenter comes on and walks 2 after 2 outs and nobody on base. And now Jeff Francoeur. Pitching coach Mark Riggins going to go out and have a word with Carpenter. It appears the Cubs have a couple of relievers ready in the bullpen, but they're going to stay with Carpenter, who's walked 2 in a row. Let's take a look at our Panera around the league scoreboard. Interleague scores: Rockies beating the Yankees. Yankees were a half game back of Boston. Detroit in 2nd place when the games began in our division. They're down. Milwaukee has jumped ahead of Minnesota 4-3. Minnesota was ahead in the 6th inning. And there you have it. Jeff Francoeur 1 for 3 with a 2-run home run. And he goes after a pitch at 93 miles an hour, 0-1.
It's back in the 4th inning, Ryan. There was no doubt about this one. He got the head of the bat on this one. It was gone right away in the 1st tier over the Royals bullpen.
Out in front of the mound, Carpenter throws it 97 miles an hour over to Pena. And the Royals are scoreless in the 7th. It's been another good night for the Royals on defense. In fact, we'll call the defense our Miller Lite Taste Greatness Moments.
There's been some great moments tonight there. You get Castro at third base trying to steal third. And that was a big out right there. Frank Coeur gunning down Soto going to third base. And here's this classic cutoff and relay right here. Escobar taking a throw from Gordon. And you get Soriano at the plate. And then there's Gordon cutting down Ramirez, trying to stretch a single into a double.
Alex with 11 outfield assists. That leads the major leagues. Aaron Crow takes over in the top of the 8th inning. First pitch is fouled away by Jeff Baker. Aaron Crow was away from the team yesterday. His grandfather on his father's side passed away. No balls, 2 strikes. So back with the team tonight, pitching in the 8th inning in a tie game. Blake Wood pitched a scoreless 7th. Bruce Chen gave up 4 runs in 6 innings. That didn't take very long. Good start for Aaron Crow. Baker's 1 for 4. 1 down in the 8th inning. Let's go back to Joel.
I had a Bruce Chen related question, and then Ned Yost pulled him, and that messed up the timing, but let's get to it anyway. Andy Nelson, Blue Springs, says, how does a journeyman like Bruce Chen all of the sudden catch fire and pitch great baseball? Guys, what do you think?
Well, Joel, I think he just keep making adjustments. You know, he went from being an over-the-top fastball and curveball thrower to changing the different arm angles, changing the different speeds on his fastball. Good use of his curveball and changeup, but I think it's a different arm angles and changing speeds on the fastball, just learning how to pitch over the years.
I had a number of questions last night, and I didn't check it last night because it was not a car soup night, but a number of questions from a bunch of astute fans that wanted to know why Felipe Paulino changed gloves. He had a blue one, and then he was back to a black one, and I talked to him about it today. And just breaking in a new glove that he got from Wilson, since he's on the Royals, they sent him a blue one. It was a little too stiff, so he went with the other one. He'll keep working on that. But the second one had more of a scoreless streak in it, so he might stick with the older one now and keep working in that blue one. You know how guys are with that. Ryan, this one for you as we see the out here, but I know you've talked about this a bunch of times. Kathy Moen in Topeka says if a ball hits the second base umpire, is it a dead ball? And I know, Ryan, it's not as simple as just that. It depends on where he's at, right?
It's where the umpire is, correct. If the umpire is in front of the fielder, then it is a dead ball because the umpire interferes with the ball that otherwise would have gotten to the fielder. However, if the umpire is behind the infielder, as second base umpire Mark Rippinger is right now, then it is a live ball. It's also similar with a base runner too. It's often believe that anytime a ground ball hits a base runner, that the base runner is automatically out. But in the judgment of the umpires, it also depends on whether that base runner interfered with a ball that could have been fielded by an infielder. How's that for an answer?
Perfect.
3 up, 3 down for Aaron Crow in the 8th inning.
As the Royals and Cubs doing battle in front of a crowd of 32,000 plus after the game. Fireworks and Boulevard Royals Live. Jeff Montgomery joins me to break down this game. We'll answer the question, why do teams keep running on the Royals outfield? We'll also talk about Bruce Chen's return from the disabled list, hear from Ned Yost, player reaction, and much more. And you can text your questions, 432-432 space keyword live. That and more next on Boulevard Royals Live.
All right, thank you, Joel, as the Cubs bring left-hander Sean Marshall in for the bottom of the 8th inning. A strikeout pitcher, an excellent strikeout to walk ratio, 3rd from the bottom line there. 35 strikeouts against 9 walks. He does throw strikes, so he will give up some hits and gives up about a hit per inning. Only 1 home run allowed in 34 2/3 innings. Mike Moustakas goes after the first pitch, and LeMahieu throws him out, 1 away. Joel, one other thing about that rule we were talking about, when the ball hits the base runner, even though the question was about the outfielder, just to give you a scenario, let's say the infield is playing in, they're on the grass, and the ball gets past the infield and then hits the runner. In that case, the runner is not automatically out. That's still a live ball. But if the base runner is hit and he's in front of the infielders, then he is automatically out.
It'd be great if something happened like that, right? I mean, I don't wish the umpire to be hit, but just, you know, for a little demo. Just something right now so we could say, there you go.
We'll use Nate. We'll put Nate in an umpire's outfit, and we'll run him out there.
It's only fair. Nate was beating on somebody else today.
Exactly. Just kind of even it out.
Didn't know he had that violent streak in him.
He was
there he is. Look at this.
He was wielding
by a pitch,
wielding a bat.
And this is one of the celebrities in the tournament here.
Look at
This
Riggle.
is Paul Rudd.
Riggle says, "What are you doing?"
And look at this. Look at this brawl that happens as a result of Nate.
Was that Al Fitzmaurice going after Slugger or somebody else with long hair?
I don't know, but I mean that thing went on for a long time. I mean, somebody's going to get hurt out there.
Well, Nate had the bat. He's suspended for a long time.
Now that's one of those plays, Frank, you having played 18 years in the big leagues. Now here's Nate. Look at this. Look at this.
He's done.
He's going to be in counseling tomorrow.
He's out of baseball.
Oh my gosh, with an elbow.
It just dawned on me we should tell TJ that should be our tied dirty play of the game.
Absolute dirty play of the year.
Dirty play of the year, yes.
Now Nate, talking about Nate here, Frank, you having played for 18 years, I mean, that's one of those situations there where you defend your teammate, right? But then you drag him into the clubhouse by his collar and you say, look at how many guys you got in a fight and got suspended because of you. Ramirez doesn't have much range, but as far as he can go, and it's Pena 2 down in the 8th inning.
The thing about starting fights, you got to have a good reason to do it. You don't want to do it because you got embarrassed. You want to, you know, something. Right. Most times you kind of know when these things are brewing, but when they just come out of the blue, just like when a pitcher hits a batter for no apparent reason, and all of a sudden you up there and you get plunked and you wonder why. So you're upset at your guy. You're not upset at the guy that hit you.
I don't want to say too much about Nate because he knows his way up to the booth. Escobar 0 for 2. He walked and scored in the 4th inning. One ball, one strike. Royals got all 4 of their runs off of Ryan Dempster. 2 of the runs were unearned because of his error. Russell and Carpenter pitch a scoreless 7th. And now Marshall in the 8th. And he's ahead of Escobar. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Broken bat. And Castro in time. Issues. #11 app for Android, BlackBerry, and Samsung Galaxy tab is Live Baseball. You can follow the Royals wherever you are with pitch-by-pitch tracking, box scores, stats, breaking news, video highlights, and game day audio. Text @BAT to 31826. Aaron Crowe stays on for the 9th. Alfonso Soriano. He is single. He has been intentionally walked, and he is grounded out to 3rd. One ball, 2 strikes. Tony Campana will follow Soriano. And then DJ LeMahieu. Two and two. Soriano never really been known for his eye. He is a .271 hitter. His on base percentage is just .304. He has walked 9 times this year. And he really helped out Aaron Crow. That was more than ball 4.
Well, it's amazing. He takes 2 pretty good fastballs on the outside corner and doesn't even offer. Then he gets to this point where he's probably guessing he's got to throw me a strike, and he chases this slider off the plate.
Nine walks this late in the season. The league leader has 57. This has been for Tony Campana. Came on defensively after the Cubs batted for Lou Montañez, and Blake DeWitt was the pinch hitter in the 7th inning. Tony Campana, 1 ball, 1 strike against Aaron Crow.
Can run. Got real good speed, and I was talking to some of the coaches on the staff there. They're going to try to.
That is not a catch, and boy, there is a vapor trail up the first base line with Campana running. Mike Moustakas is arguing that he caught that ball. Home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg had it right in front of him. I don't know. Is it possible to be in the glove and touching the grass at the same time?
Well, it's real close here. It looks like it is in the glove at that point. And then what makes him safe is that Mike takes a look at home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg just long enough, and Campana was able to beat this throw. Now, right there, it looks like
that looks like a catch.
Like he bends the glove back, gets in there, and now he looks home for the call, didn't get it. And Campana's speed, he beat the throw to first base.
.29 games for Campana and 7 stolen bases. And you figure LeMahieu at the plate is going to give him every opportunity to try and steal second base. Two balls and no strikes.
I was saying on Campana, what they're going to try to do this offseason is get him a little bit stronger. They're going to get him, with weight training and things like that. And they feel like that's really going to help his overall strength in terms of running and have the ball coming off his bat.
5'8", 165 pounds, and now 3 balls and no strikes. Last year in the minor leagues, Campana had 48 stolen bases. The year before that, at 2 different levels, he had 66 stolen bases. And a strike, very top of the strike zone. 3-1 on LeMahieu. He singled off of first base in the 7th inning, 1 for 3. Campana running, and that's a base hit into right field, and Campana will keep on running. Well, a couple of rookies coming through for the Cubs with 1 out. Campana with the bunt hit, and then LeMahieu with the runner going singles with the runners at first and third.
Hit the ball in right field, and with the kind of speed that Campana had, the ball right there was automatic first and third. He had a great jump too off first base.
Nobody warming up in the Royals bullpen, so it appears that Ned Yost wants to go out and just talk strategy here. And Ned might sense that this young team could be frustrated here because the scorecard says that Campana had a hit. The replay would suggest otherwise. They're just going out there and trying to calm everybody down. Sometimes the manager's visit to the mound without a pitching change is a kick in the fanny. I would suggest that most of the times it's a kick in the fanny, but then there are times where the guys on the field need a pat on the back and some words of encouragement from their manager.
Well, you're right, Ryan. You want to get a strategy together too, and what they want to do in this situation. And they talk about if the Mayhews decide still second base, where the throw's going to go and whether they're going to hold it or go through.
Chance for a double play, and it gets through. Well, the Cubs take the lead, and Chris Getz got a nice big hop that had 4-6-3 written all over it. And the Royals, who have had an excellent defensive game tonight, an error by Getz puts the Cubs in front.
This doesn't get any easier than this. They just got in too big a hurry right there, and just took a guy off over a little too soon, and it cost him a double play, and it cost him all the run. Just got a big hop. Just didn't look it into the glove, and that's just one of the mistakes you just don't see Chris Getz make at all. You'll see it come up. Just never went in.
The Royals had committed only 3 errors in their previous 14 games. And now Starlin Castro, who has 2 hits and is hitting .325 at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. What's interesting about that is my first thought, Frank, was that maybe Getz was trying to be too quick to turn that double play, but watching that replay, it's almost like he went into a defensive mode, like it took a hop on him that he wasn't expecting.
Well, if you watch his feet, he's kind of going backwards a little bit too on this ball here, right? You watch his feet, see how he starts to go back here a little bit, and that's not bad if you're trying to make the hop long, but it's almost like he got the glove in a position where he didn't see it go into the glove. It's almost like he was trying to get his feet in position to make the play before the ball got there.
Because that wasn't a case, as you point out so often, where the head started to turn and look to second base. I mean, he still appeared to have his eye on the ball. And you see it happen so many times. The double play isn't turned, and the inning just gets bigger. Castro has his 3rd hit, and the Cubs have a 2-run lead.
This line drive back through the middle. Just take the fastball, hit it where it's pitched, left it up out over the plate, and he hits it back to the center field, and the man who scores. Yeah, you just hate not to be able to turn that double play when it presents itself right there, Ryan. It looked like a pretty easy hop, and just almost like he just didn't get it centered in his glove.
Getz started a double play in the 7th inning, 4-6-3. And that held the Cubs to 1 run, 5 hits. So if not for that double play, it's a bigger inning for the Cubs. And then no double play here in the 9th. And now Ramos Ramirez, who has 3 hits tonight, all against Bruce Chen, and he has scored a couple of runs. Way outside for ball 1. I'll be interested to hear what Chris Getz has to say. He's not an excuse maker, but that did not appear to be bad fundamentals there. I mean, it's just I don't know if he lost it, like you said, lost sight of the ball. If the angle of that ground ball maybe got in a collection of white T-shirts somewhere behind home plate, and you can lose sight of the ball just long enough where the ball goes off the glove.
Well, all those things are possible, and like I say, the head was right there, and if the head is there, the only thing you can do is maybe screen yourself out with the glove and assume it's going to be where you want it, and it's not quite there.
Fields this one cleanly, and the Royals turn this double play. The Cubs get 2 and lead 6-4. Take a look at tonight's Chevrolet play of the game.
That's a big two-run homer by Jeff Frank Stewart, Ryan. This one ended up in the bullpen, and that put the Royals right back in the ballgame.
It was Frank Stewart's first home run in over a month. His 10th of the year. The Cubs with 1 in the 7th inning to tie it, 2 in the 9th, and now Carlos Marmol going for his 16th save. He does have 4 blown saves. 43 strikeouts and 33 in the 3rd innings. 16 walks, so he does have a good walk to strikeout ratio. However, 1 walk every 2 innings. Reed Johnson takes over in left field for Soriano.
And Marmol has a great fastball and a very good slider. He has that slider very well.
Well, Chris Getz, as fate has it, will lead off against Marmol in the 9th inning. At the plate, 2 singles and a strikeout, 2 out of 3. One ball, 1 strike. And 2 balls, 1 strike. Marmol's trademark pitch is a slider. He will throw it over and over again, not always for strikes, but to the hitter it looks like a strike until he unloads his swing. Like that pitch right there.
Yeah, that's a real good slider. But Chris Getz is showing a lot of patience right here. Right? And leading off this inning right here, the Royals need base runners. Even though the count's 3-1, I would go ahead and take this next pitch and try to get on by walk.
And he does. So Getz makes up for part of it with a leadoff walk. On base for the 3rd time. Mike Quade thinking through his strategy as he's looking at the Royals lineup. You know, one other thing to consider about Chris Getz on that play and the ball that got away from him. The later you get into the game, even though that ball didn't hit the edge of the grass or either the front edge or the rim of the outfield grass, the infield dirt is pretty torn up by base runners going back and forth. Here we are in the 9th inning. You got infielders going back and forth. So that could have hit a little crater. And even though it wasn't a terrible hop, it didn't jump over his head. You know, Frank, if you don't get the hop you're expecting, it doesn't take a terribly bad hop to throw you off. As Melky launches it to right field, it is deep enough, but it is foul.
I mean, that is always a possibility, you know, that would it hit a cleat mark or something like that. But, you know, Chris is going to be the only guy to be able to tell us exactly what happened. And you take a look at Cabrera. I mean, he just really collapses on this fastball on the inner half. And I'm sure that's not where Marmol wants this ball at this time of the game.
So way outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Melky has faced Marmol twice before tonight, struck out both times. 2-2. Marmol became the Cubs' full-time closer in August of '09 and responded by going 11 for 11 in save opportunities. He had 38 last year. That pitch just missed outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, 3-2 right here with the risk of a line drive. Chris Getz probably won't be running on this play.
And Melky fouls it back to the net. Two teams that are hoping to get healthy against one another. The Royals think they should beat the Cubs, especially on their turf. The Cubs feel like they should come in and beat the Royals. That one got the outside. Melky knew it. So after the walk, Marmol has a strikeout.
That's that backdoor slider right there. Just missed a couple pitches early and came right back to it again.
Outside to Eric Hosmer. 3 groundouts tonight, all to the right side, and a strikeout. Over the outside at 93 miles an hour. One and 2.
Well, Marmol's putting those pitches in great spots. Eric Hosmer on the outside corner, and he hides the ball a long time, and you don't get to see it right away. And at 1-2 count, you might look for that slider down under.
He started to go and went around.
Look at it right here. Yeah, it's a little bit too far on that swing.
Big crowd here tonight, 32,921, a mixture of Royals and Cubs fans. Slider just missed to Billy Butler. Billy on base twice with a single and a walk. One and one. He is now hit safely in 131 consecutive series. And line to right field. That's going to drop in front of Pregame. Billy on his way to second base. Getz stops at third, and now the Royals are a base hit away from tying the game. And here comes Gerard Dyson.
Billy doesn't really try to do too much with his swing, Ryan. He just tracks this slider down and away and just hits it the way it was going, and he was able to keep this ball fair. He just stays right where the seed goes away. His body reacted to it, and his hands came through the zone and was able to keep this ball down and get this ball down in the corner. Pregame makes a nice play, getting it back to the infield, and then Chris Getz possibly could have scored there, but wound up getting anything
Gonzalez gets at third. And remember, it was his error in the top of the 9th inning that led to the Cubs getting 2 runs to take the lead. And now Alex Gordon, way outside, ball 1. Alex has 2 hits, a walk, and he's reached with an error. 2 runs scored. And the slider makes it 1-1. Line up the middle. Castro cuts it off, and the game ends. A line drive, but he didn't get all of it, and it just kind of flamed out after it crossed the mound. And the Royals fall short by 2. 6-4 Chicago. We'll be right back.